I wanted to be a fast jet pilot, but my arms were too short and my head was too short, so I had to rethink that plan.
Your head was too short?
My bum to my head, so apparently you need to be able to steer and see where you're going. Technicalities.
Honestly, these people are so picky. Hello and welcome to the engine room from Finally. Today we have Charlotte Horobin from Make UK. Welcome, Charlotte.
Hi.
How are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you excited to, give your elevator pitch?
Absolutely, yep.
Within 30 seconds?
On the dot, it's going to be bang on 30.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, that'll be a first on that's for sure. So look, without further ado, let's crack on with it. I'll hand over to you to give your 30-second elevator pitch. Good luck.
Thank you. So Make UK is the national body for UK manufacturing. Our community includes over 22,000 manufacturers, 52 trade associations, from small startups to global giants, automotive through to aerospace, pharmaceutical through to food. We support our members to grow, so enabling them to share best practice, find new suppliers, new customers, and we also offer advice in employment law, health, safety, sustainability, cybersecurity, and training from apprentice to business leader.
Well, you did so well. That was amazing. And you see that?
Oh, just
29.
Just in time then in the manufacturing world.
Yeah, that is, just in time, just before. Brilliant, 29 seconds. That was a really good elevator pitch, actually. You really got so much across. So congrats. Hopefully you got your point across to the engine room audience. The next section is the big three. So this is where we find a little bit more about you, really. So what is your favorite quote that you like to live by?
I think it's one my granddad passed to me, and I think it's Yiddish, but man plans and God laughs. I quite like the concept that, best laid plans and all, but you've got to be prepared that things change. You've got to roll with it. So
true. I mean, nothing could be more true of these last 12 months, could it? We all had our plans already, and then, that COVID-19 struck, and then that was it really, wasn't it?
Exactly. He also used to say that nobody ever got injured on a bar stool, which I think was trying to convince my granny that he could stay at the pub longer.
Another excellent quote. One which I definitely applaud. That's really good. Your second question is, what is your view, and you're in a good place to speak about this, what is your view on the future of UK manufacturing?
This is a perfectly timed question because we've just released our Q2 results, and the output balance is the highest that we've ever seen in the history of the survey, so since 1998. So we've seen positive results for output and orders. The domestic market and the export market are all really strong. Investment and recruitment intentions are really strong too. So it's a really positive picture for the sector. We've actually had to revise our forecast upwards for growth. And there are some headwinds, we're struggling with supply chains and sourcing commodities as the world turns back on, but actually manufacturing is feeling pretty healthy right now.
That's really positive. What do you think, what are the causes of the sourcing issues, do you think?
I think there's a number of things. So you've got some natural disasters and situations around the world that have hampered the supply of things like semiconductors. China has become a net importer of steel. And I think that theme actually runs around the world, that you've got global economies starting to turn back on. Order books have been quite lumpy. So trying to get everything back in sync, it's a little bit, I guess, a supply chain's like a waltz really, isn't it? You've got to get everything working together. So we think that towards the end of the year, things should start to smooth out, but appreciate that if you're in the middle of it right now, the end of the year feels quite a long way away.
Yeah, no, it's really great to hear from your perspective too, sort of, such an upturn sort of in demand. When I speak to, a number of people, it does seem to be, especially over the last couple of months, particular, it seems, even like, I think recruiters, we had Sean on last week. I think recruiters are always a good sign of how busy they are is in terms of how busy the industry is.
Yeah, we've even got some manufacturers now not recruiting by qualification at all. They're purely going by attitude. Again, appreciate certain roles, that's probably not possible, but it just shows people are having to totally change the way that they're running and thinking about their business.
Yeah, I think Charlotte gave a really good tip last week, actually, which was if you can look inside the business first. If you've got an opportunity, see if you can upskill someone to a new role, because there is a bit of a skill shortage at the moment. Okay, your third question in the big three is, what is the biggest lesson that you've learnt during your time in manufacturing?
So the biggest lesson that I've learned is how important manufacturing is to place. So we've done a lot of research in particularly the last few months about rebalancing the economy. It's kind of the theme of the time that we're in. And what's really apparent is manufacturing is not the only show in town, but you need a really strong foundation, a good manufacturing community in a place, because that's then when all the other support services develop. It's where professional services and caterers and good housing then has to be built, and you need to have schools in a place to supply the labour. So we talk about manufacturing as only 10% of UK GDP, but we know it's far greater than that. The sector's producing over half of the UK's exports, 2/3 of R&D, and salaries are higher than other sectors in the UK. So I think manufacturing's got a real holistic role to make sure that our places are strong and good places to be.
I mean, we've sort of specialised in this sector for a couple of years now. It definitely does seem to have a really great community spirit about it, like everyone's in it together. Why do you think that is?
Because I think if you think about the biggest issue our members tell us about consistently, whether you push EU exit or COVID or whatever aside, it's skills. So actually those connections to the community and that resource of having really good people means that the manufacturers need to work hard to make sure that it doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just tap a 16-year-old on the shoulder. We've got to foster the spirit much earlier on in people's, I guess, education, to make sure that they're inspired to come into the sector. But also it's hard work to enter manufacturing. It takes a lot of investment in capital and time and brain power. But once those buildings are up and those products are being made, it's really difficult to remove it. So that's when I think it becomes a good foundation, because manufacturers invest in the place and they stay there and they create really good jobs that are really well paid.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great speaking to some people on the engine room over, the past few months, hearing different people like Andrew Wilson and Chris Greeno and Lee Howarth, all kind of saying, look, we need to educate kids earlier that manufacturing isn't a poor man's option of a career. This is just a different option that you can take for people that aren't necessarily want to go down the academic route. This is another great option for people. How do we kind of get that message across to people?
I think we need to talk about manufacturing for everybody. So whether you go down sort of a traditional university route, a degree apprenticeship route, or apprentice route into the business, it's a sector that's accessible for all. And there's loads of exciting different departments. So it's not just one career. You could be in HR, production, you could be working in export, and you might end up being the business leader. The salaries are 13% higher than other sectors in the country. And what are the sectors going to offer you? International travel and the ability to see things come in, add value, and then produce something at the end. But as for education, I think it's definitely a two-way street. Business has to step forwards, and the education system has to step forwards too. And it's got to be long term. You can't make one intervention, have it fail, and then give up. You've got to really keep, like the Bridgman family do so well. This is a long-term investment, and it's got to be a labour of love. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And I think if you can invest for the long term, like I say, the Bridgman family have shown the benefits it can bring, not just to the people, but also to their business as well.
Yeah.
All right. So your final question, it's nearly all over. But your question of the week is, what makes a manufacturer want to join Make UK?
It varies, of course, depending on anybody's situation, but I'm yet to come across a business that doesn't want to grow. So we're really looking for people with the right mindset who care about manufacturing. They want to be part of a community to see their own business do well, and in turn, UK manufacturing do well. So people usually join right now to help us champion the sector, to grow their own business, to find new suppliers, new customers, and to be proud to be making things in the UK.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, look, it has been absolutely fantastic chatting with you on the Engine Room. Charlotte Horobin of Make UK, thanks very much.
Thank you.